let's do this thing. I will preface by saying that I don't really want to do this video today. I feel very low energy. I actually tried to do this video yesterday twice on my Canon, and the first time I actually had a really good take, didn't make any mistakes, and then I realized that the Wi-Fi on my camera was on, and apparently your Wi-Fi on your camera cannot be on when you're shooting video because then your video doesn't shoot. So then I did a second take, and then that one was completely out of focus, so I couldn't use that one either. I also realized yesterday that I forgot to purchase 2 pieces for this thing I'm about to talk to you guys about today. So that was fun. Also, this is going to be a really long week, and I just want to be a bum and watch TV right now, but I know if I don't do this right now, I'm going to regret it later, so, yeah. Also, all of my clothes are hang drying / like lay flat dry right now, so I have laundry all over my room, and as I'm sitting on the ground doing this video, I'm also realizing how much I need to like vacuum / dust / clean my room. So I'm a little all over the place right now, but anyway, you don't care about that. So, yeah, so today, I am talking to you about a project that I am working on. So as you guys all know, I am part of a membership called That Photo School, and our most recent project is working with high-speed sync. And what high-speed sync allows you to do is, number one, you are able to capture motion, and you are able to really get crisp, clean images. So if you have a dancer with a really pretty flowy gown, all of that fabric is going to come across really crisp. And the other thing that you can do is you can take high-speed sync outside in broad daylight and really take your shutter speed to like 1/8000th, and you can still get a very wide aperture, like a 1.8, by using high-speed sync. So I chose to do something where I was going to be capturing motion. And my initial thought, of course, was to use a dancer, like I said, have her wear like a really pretty flowy dress and capture the motion of the fabric. And then I started to feel like, you know, a lot of people were going to go in that direction, and I wanted to try something a little bit different. So then I kind of got fixated on the idea of capturing the motion of water, or like the very fine droplets of water. And I went through a few iterations of that idea. So my first thought was, okay, how can I bring water into the studio? So I had this idea of kind of having a very shallow tank with just a little bit of water inside of it, and having a subject in that tank, again, like super shallow, like a couple inches tall, and having them kind of like brush their hands or brush their feet against the ground, and causing that water to kind of rise up and create waves and capturing motion in that way. Well, I wasn't really able to figure out a way to fabricate anything that would allow me to bring that into a studio and not make a huge mess, and so I ended up knocking that idea. The second idea I had was, you know, having water on a drum. And so when a musician hits the drum, you get the splashes of water, and we would capture motion in that way. So I actually reached out to someone I know that is a daiko drummer, which is a Japanese style of drumming. And unfortunately, both of the groups that they are in use like real leather drums instead of synthetic drums, and so of course we didn't want to like destroy the instrument, basically, right? So that led me to my third idea. So this idea was inspired by a photo shoot that I saw probably a few years ago. A photographer had captured some athletic photos of people that were doing just like simple exercises, but had a rainmaking machine falling on them, and so when the water was hitting the subject and bouncing off of the subject, it created a really cool aesthetic and vibe. And ever since I'd seen that shoot, I really wanted to try something very similar, and had never found the motivation to actually go out and build a rainmaking rig. And I felt like this assignment was the perfect time to kind of get off my butt and actually do it. So I went to Home Depot earlier this week, last weekend, whatever it is, and bought all of the materials I needed for that. Of course, prior to that, I was on YouTube and Google trying to find different budget-friendly ways of making your own rainmaker, and I found one that I thought worked really well, or would work really well, and based my own design off of that. So anyways, here's everything that I purchased in case you also want to go and make yours. I will say that I bought everything for less than $40 from Home Depot, and I feel like if this works out how I think it's going to work out in my head, that's a really good deal. Okay, so first of all, I purchased a little end cap for the PVC pipe that I'll be using. I purchased a 10-foot PVC pipe, and Home Depot will cut this down for you. I asked for 6 1.5-foot pieces and then 2 6-inch pieces. I also purchased 2 3/4-inch risers, and the reason I did that is so that later I can actually unscrew some of the pieces for my rig, and then I can make it smaller and be able to transport it in my car, because I just drive a really tiny compact, and a 10-foot rig is not going to fit in there. And then the other piece of that, if you didn't see, I also purchased several connectors, and that's how we're going to be able to fit these pieces together later. Next, we have sprinkler heads. So I purchased 3 of these. I bought one that has a 360 circle pattern, and then I bought 2 with a quarter circle pattern. I bought 5 T-connectors. So this is what I'm going to use to attach the sprinklers. With that, you also need a 1/2-inch riser, and how these fit together is basically you'll have your T-connector, you'll screw in the riser, and then you'll screw in the sprinkler. And then, of course, I have to have a hose adapter, so you'll need one of those as well. And then, of course, some PVC cement to make sure that everything gets to fit together really sturdy and that it lasts you for a while and doesn't fall apart. But yeah, so that's all of the pieces I purchased. I have 4 of these connectors, 2 of these 3/4 risers, 3 of the 1/2-inch risers because I have 3 sprinkler heads, 5 of the T-connectors. And what I'm going to be doing with this T-connector is I'm actually going to have, aside from the ones that are going to hold the sprinkler heads, I'm going to have 2 on each end, and I'm planning on using this to kind of hold the rig on a couple of C-stands. And in order to make sure that water isn't coming through the bottom, I'm going to put a little bit of wax paper in here, and then I'm going to drop wax into this end of it. And that way it should keep the water from leaking through here, but will still be able to hold or be able to be placed on a C-stand. So that's all the pieces. Let me put this thing together, and then I will try my best to show you how it works. All right. Okay, so here is the rain-making gig that I was talking about. I'm going to walk you through each piece. It actually doesn't take very long to make at all. It only took me a few days because I kept messing up. I glued one piece on the wrong pipe, and then I forgot a couple of pieces, so it took me a little bit longer. But if you get all the right pieces the first time around, it should only take you like 15 minutes to put this thing together. So we'll start at the very end here. So you've got your end piece that I glued onto a 6-inch piece of PVC. I connected that to a T-connector. On the inside here, so that water doesn't leak out of it, I poured a little bit of candle wax into it. And then we have our regular connectors connected by a riser. And then our 3 sprinkler heads, all connected with a T-connector and a 1/2-inch riser. And then, of course, at the very end, we have our hose adapter. So I'm going to go hook up the hose to that right now, and then let's just see how that works. Okay, we're turning it on now.
Turn on. Yes, turn on.